The main thing to note from the governor's budget preview is that unlike last year when the state was facing a multi-billion-dollar deficit, the governor says this year there won't be any deficit.
It's a process that's unfolding.
Governor Gavin Newsom kicked off the first full week of the new year, previewing his spending plan that includes a $322 billion balanced budget proposal with no deficit and $16.9 billion in reserves. Newsom said, all of this is subject to change depending on whatever new policies are implemented by the incoming federal administration.
On the basis of the uncertainties as relates to the federal administration, as it relates to trade policy or tariff policy or immigration policy that could radically shape and impact the debate in this country, impact our revenue stream in this state.
According to the California Budget and Policy Center, the state relies on the federal government for about a third of its budget. Despite the uncertainty, Newsom is optimistic about the budget and notes his plan comes with no proposed cuts to key government programs.
Last year, we endeavored to make this year's budget a non-event. Last year, we endeavored to solve the problems this year.
He also credits not having a deficit to a stronger economy, a better performing stock market, and corporate taxes beating expectations. As far as what's new, one of the most notable proposals is boosting the state's film and tax credit program from $330 million to $750 million.
After the strikes, after the global challenges with COVID, the region hasn't recovered. The economy hasn't recovered. A lot of good, hard-working folks are not working. A lot of blue-collar folks behind the scenes, they need support.
Republican State Senator Roger Nealo, who's the vice chair of the Budget Committee, says that while the governor is not projecting a deficit in the upcoming year, he's concerned about the $20 to $30 billion shortfalls estimated by the Legislative Analyst's Office in the next 3 years.
We have huge challenges ahead of us, and what we really need right now, which also I didn't hear the governor address, is a robust assessment of existing programs, particularly any that have been established in the last 5 years or so, to assess whether or not they're accomplishing what was intended for them to accomplish. And if they're not, those are the areas that we're going to need to cut back in those out years.
The governor will have an updated version of the budget in May, which is when California will have a better idea of its financial outlook after taxes are filed in the spring. And the governor even said there's a modest budget surplus, which his Department of Finance will release on Friday. That's when the full budget will be presented to the legislature. Back to you.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Let Spectrum News be your resource for balanced, in-depth political coverage. And click the subscribe button here. You can also download our app and watch us on TV to learn more about the candidates, where they stand on the issues, and more. We'll see you then.